Good morning, everybody. So today is Thursday, and I've been stacking videos because I'm going to be leaving town tomorrow. But I needed to come on and do this one and do it today before I leave for somebody special. And that the thing is, what do you do when you feel like you are not feeling crafty? And I don't know if y'all remember, but it wasn't that long ago where I was saying, man, I just don't feel it. I just don't feel crafty. I don't feel like I I feel like every time I come in I feel at a loss, and you know, it happens to all of us. And sometimes we have to break that barrier. And so one of the things that works for me is to just come in the craft room, grab a random something and do it. And you don't necessarily have to make a card. You could just do some embellishments, maybe. You could do mixed media, just make backgrounds, watercolor, or use your paste through a stencil, or just something to get you back in the room. But one of the things that really works for me is to come in, grab anything random, just grab it and say, okay, I'm going to use this. Whether it turns out bad or it turns out good, it doesn't matter. You just got to get past that block. So, what I have behind me, because I'm still in the process of getting this room organized and moving stuff in and trying to get this all going, as I have a box of random stuff behind me. There's some embossing folders, there's some dies, there's some stamps, there's some stencils. It's just random items, and I'm just going to reach back into the box without looking. And I'm just going to grab whatever I grab. Here we go. Okay, so it's a Create a Card Wonderland Woodland, and I'm looking. It says create a 3D scene. There's a picture right here on the front. I can see there's looks like a fox, a deer. Let's see, it's been opened. Let's open it and see what is in here. And this may be a little more detailed than I wanted to get into, but here we go. So I could do this on the side. I'm looking, and it looks like they did both. So this is trees, just trees. And this is just like the stump part of the trees, the bark. And then this is the floral part of the trees. Now, if I was having a creative block at this point, I would say to myself, okay, well, I just got to make something with it. Doesn't matter, as long as I'm making something with it, right? So, let's see, I've got tree leaves and stumps, and there's ground back here. And my first thought is I'm going to use green. I'm going to use green to cut it out. That is not going to be enough green. Yeah, I think maybe I can get it. That's going to be awful tight. Maybe if I slant them. I like this green, but I don't want to take chances with my dies. Let me look for another green. Let me see what I got on the shelf. That came out of my scrap pile. And maybe that's something you do. Maybe you say to yourself, okay, whatever, whatever, but I'm going to get it. No, that's too bright. Ooh, that's bright. I don't want it that bright. Maybe you just grab your scraps and say, okay, I'm going to use my scraps. Whatever I do, it's going to be my scraps, and I'm going to do my scraps. Okay, so I'm thinking I can do these in a green, and then I can come in and color in the trunks with one of these brown markers I have over here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. One of these drawers. Has my cutting folders. I need to make sure it's going to fit on here. Yes, it is. Okay. I'm just going to come. I was going to try to use the side I already cut, but it really needs to just be, I guess is the word. I do want to try to cut these both out at the same time, and then I'll cut the tree itself separate. I really need to find out what I did with all my scissors. I really do. Okay. So these are going to go on the folder. And look, I grabbed a pretty new, kind of new folder too, so it's not all tweaked up. Okay. Nothing's overlapping. I can go ahead and put it through. Okay, I forgot. These creative cards do not cut completely out. So let me, so they use the whole thing. I am not going to do that. I'm going to frame these out. So I'm just going to cut it here and here and here. I'm not going to want this part. So I'm just going to do that shape. It's important, I think, that we realize that sometimes we do feel that way. Sometimes we do lose our little crafty mojo or whatever you want to call it. I need to run the tree through also, and I don't think he's going to fit on any of these scraps. So he's going to need his own piece. So let me do this. Okay, now I can put that paper over there. Leave it close in case I need it for something. And this didn't even cut all the way, but I'm going to cut it. And I'm cutting it big so that it if I need extra room, I can. Okay, so now I have a tree and I have the sides. And I'm just going to grab some brown here. One of these browns, and I'll test it on some white paper. Okay, I think that's a good brown. And I'm just going to come in and do a quick color. I don't want that line to be perfectly straight because that tree's right there. Okay, and come in here. I'm going to do the same thing with the tree. Some bow. Just take it a little bit at a time. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with these. I looked at their inspiration, and that's probably the direction I'm heading in. But right now I'm seeing trees that are all green, and I know trees are not green, so my little bit at a time is first, okay, cut them out. Second, I need the trunks to be brown, right? Okay. So there we go. Now we have that. Now I can, if I want to, I'm going to, because I have no idea where I'm headed. So I'm just going to grab a card blank. And you know what? I wonder if I should do brown, black, just because. Now, obviously, this is not the size card they had in mind. Right? That would have been nice if I had left that straight, but I didn't. And maybe I don't have to use that part. See, they all kind of go together. I can put this tree wherever I want. All right, you know what? I don't think I'm going to use that. And honestly, I don't know that this even works now because of the way it's cut. Because of the way I cut it, it just doesn't seem to me like this is something that's going to have to work. That's going to work. And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. See, I could just do this. The problem is, it's too short. Also, I need the smaller card blank, right? What is it? 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size, but the square is still the same height, so that's not going to help. But I have seen people do. Let's try that. Let's do a 5 by 5 square, since it's not going to fit on that. All I'm doing is a little bit at a time figuring out what's going to work. Figuring out a little bit at a time where I'm going with it. Because I don't know. I didn't know what I was grabbing. I didn't have anything in my mind of what to do about it. And I just am making it work. But maybe this is too much for you. If you're going through that, you know, I just don't feel crafty. I just don't know what to do. I just don't have it in me right now. You know, then maybe something like this is too much for you. And if that's the case, my answer is break out the mixed media, because nothing gets creative juices flowing like mixed media. For me anyways, it's like, okay, and just play. That's what we're supposed to be doing, is playing. Okay, so I think I'm definitely gonna have to cut these, but this, let's see. Okay, so that can go there. This could go in here now because it's wider than we thought it was going to be. Let me cut that down now. Because now I know I don't need all of that. I can stick that in there. And this can be my edge. So here's what I'm kind of thinking. Edge it. I'm just cutting and turning a little bit. You just kind of, even though I could put it way over here on the side and just cut that piece off. Maybe that's what I'll do. And maybe the same with this, just take this off. Come over here. That. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of trim this on the edge. Let's see what we get. I need to do it even with this. Hate to cut that much good tree off. Okay, and then that, and then I could straight cut that and stick that back here and make that work. And then what I think I'm gonna do, it's not quite long enough. That's too bad, because I thought that would might look good, but maybe. How about if we did a different? I'm not doing nothing but a wavy line. So this can come up, or I could bring that down. This can come up. It can all go up, I think. There we go. It just needs to be at the 5 inches. So right about there. I might be a little bit over, but I can come back and trim it later. Oh, I think I went a little bit short. Okay, this is gonna have to come down a little bit. So there was a little white gap there, and I don't want a little white gap there. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, I made that work. Honestly, I am amazed. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. It was just guessing. It was just guessing and hoping and trying it. But like I said, if this is too much for you at this point and you're feeling like, no, Crafty Mojo, I don't have it in me, there's no way I could do that, then don't. Do what you can do. So, and it's simple. Let me show you. I have that. Okay? That we know we have. But it's just white for the sky. And normally I'm going to have a piece of paper back here. And I need sky. And so what I'm going to do is grab a piece of paper. And even if you don't know what you're making the background for, I will put that together at some point because I was amazed how well it turned out. Even if you don't know. Even if you're saying to yourself, that's all well and good, Lori, but you're not going through what I'm going through right now. You're not going through I just don't have it in me and just don't feel it right now. Then it's time. What happened to my watercolors? I just seen them somewhere. Now I can't find them. That's not what I had in mind. Okay. That's alright. How about water reactive inks? Let's see, I've got yellow. We don't want to use a translucent. Water reactive blue. That's not water reactive. I've got water reactive pink. That's not water reactive. I'm just grabbing. That's actually waterproof. Water reactive Bordeaux. So guess what we have here? A possible sky. And what I'm going to do is probably go this way. Go down lengthwise for some reason. I'm feeling like that's going to be the way to go. So I'm going to start with the straw bale because it's a yellow. So I'm going to go to the straw bale. I'm going to put some on my mat. And I'm going to use it. And I got a pretty big size brush here. I'm going to use that. But you don't have to even have an idea in mind. Just grab and start putting it down. Just start putting it down. Just grab colors and put them on the paper, and that's all you need to do. And I'm going to say, okay, my next brightest color, I I'm looking for the paper towels because I want to dry that. I got another idea. Here we go. Oh, I found my watercolors. They're sitting right here in front of me on top of the die machine. But that's okay, this works because it's gonna help you. Okay, so I got the yellow. I'm gonna go next with pink because pink is my next lightest. Okay. I want it pretty light. I'm not even rinsing the yellow off because I'm gonna put these colors together anyways. So I'm gonna go light, and I might just keep it all light. Maybe I'll get darker. Maybe I want to go a little bit darker. So what I'll do is dry this off now and get a little more of the pink. And I'm not going to put as much water on it. One squirt. Here we go. And I'm just going to go down now and fade it out. And if I want it brighter, I can come in brighter. Just layer more on. Okay, so from there, I'm going to hit this Bordeaux. Now, this Bordeaux is a very dark red, and I'm going to put it in next to the pink. So I know that I definitely want to start with it watered down. You can always come back and add it darker if you want. But if you start with it watered down, you have a better chance of liking what you come out with. So I'm going to go in, get this red, and I want it redder up here. This looks more like a sunrise than a sundown, and sundown's kind of what I was thinking, but it's okay. All right. Now, I have the blue, and I'm going to come in with the blue. So basically, all I'm doing is just stripes of colors. Stripes. And you would be amazed at which colors will actually make a good sunrise or sundown or whatever. Now this would all be too much, right? It would be too big for that one card. And of course it's got to dry. I was kind of hoping this right here would turn purple, but it didn't. All right, now I'm gonna dry it off. It looks stripy. Definitely looks stripy, but I want to blend it together. I don't know if I can blend it better together, but what I'm going to try to do, and like I said, I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm just going to squirt all my paper, but I'm just playing now, and I'm just seeing if I can make something that I like better. So I'm just going to go across all of it together. I went up. Now I'm going to go down. And now we're not going to know until it dries what it's going to look like. I did have my heating gun set up, but I had to unplug it for something else. Like my brush is shedding stuff. What do you think? That was easy enough, right? I just did stripes. And you can do stripes with any colors. And you would be amazed at which ones will end up looking like a sky. Because if you ever look, there's peaches sometimes at sunrise. There's purple, black, blue, white, yellow, orange. I mean, the colors in the sky sometimes are absolutely amazing, and you just never know what kind of sky. Let me show you. Let's just do this. Typical blue sky. What about this? Serengeti. What about this? Sunrise. Yep. You just don't know what's going to work. But get in your craft room. If you feel like you need a break from your craft room, then you take a break from your craft room, and that's what you do, because sometimes that's what we need to do. But if you want to get in there and you just feel like, I just don't know what to do, I just don't know, go in, grab some paper, grab some watercolors, splash the water. Let's just try that. Just put some color down. Let me start with the Bordeaux because it's going to show the most. Just so you can see. I'm using, I found my watercolors, but I'm going to go ahead and use ink pad just to show you if they're water reactive, you can do this. I'm going to get it good and wet. Nope, that wasn't wet enough. I didn't have enough. And just splash it. Splash it around. Ugh, I'm getting it everywhere but on the paper. That works better when you tap it with something else. I don't know why, but it just does seem to work better. Okay, that was that color. Let me grab, what other color do we want? How about, let's do some of this parakeet. It's pretty wet over here. This rag is getting real wet. Yeah, let's do some blue, because that blue will show up real well. I want to make sure you can see how it's turning out. I'm not even rinsing my brush. I'm just putting it in. We could get mud, but we could get that blue too. That's all you got to do. Just start something simple, something easy, and see if that helps you do other things. You could go from there. And here's why I say that. Because suppose you have a background that you have made. If you don't think you like it, come back. Leave it to dry and come back, because there's been so many times that I've thought, no, and then I come back and I'm like, oh, actually I do like that. Now this came out green because I didn't rinse my brush. So now I have green splatters. So let me tell you what this makes me think of. Right now at this point, and it hasn't dried or nothing, but what I'm thinking of is, you know, the craft sets with the paintbrush. And I even have an Easter egg, the one from Spellbinders, the Easter, where there's a paintbrush where the bunnies colored the eggs. Would this not be cute as an Easter egg? And The bunny's got a paintbrush. I mean, I wasn't thinking about that set earlier, but I see these splatters, and that's what it made me think of. So let's add some pink. It's not looking that pretty. It's watered down. It just looks like a lighter shade of the Bordeaux, to be honest, is going on there. But that doesn't mean that's how it's going to dry. Simple. It takes no artistic flair. It takes no thinking. It's just simple, basic, and fun. And you come out with something and you say, oh, look. And it could spark thoughts. So from stripes to splatters. Pick up a die. What if I had picked up an embossing folder? Okay, I could grab the embossing folder, embossed it on something, and go from there. You could cut out one of the images. You could color it in. A stencil. Now you're going to use different colors. And so that's why for me what works, and especially when I have to do a video. I'm sure you've all heard me say, I didn't know what to do. So I just walked in and grabbed a die set and go from there. All right, everybody. I hope this helps you spark your imagination or get your creative juices flowing, encouragement. Like I said, sometimes we just need to take a break, and that's what we need to do. But if you feel like you want to, you just don't have it in you, try something like this. Try something simple. Try something, okay, I know I'm going to go in this box, I'm going to pick up something, and I'm going to do something with it. If nothing else, maybe I just make these all day in different ways. Maybe, and you can stick them in an embellishment box and have them at some point, you know, to have on the side of a card or, you know, whatever. No telling. Just try it and see if it helps. All right, everybody. If you like my video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for joining me. I hope you join me again. And everybody have a blessed day. Bye-bye now.